Welcome to an overview and introduction to prenatal yoga. We hope that this is a way to help you gently move your body and empower your mind and spirit. Prenatal yoga has many benefits during pregnancy. This is a way to help you work on breath work, which can be helpful when in labor and delivery. Many of the poses involved in prenatal yoga are empowering and can help alleviate stress in a time that can be stressful, such as expecting a new baby. Prenatal yoga can overall help improve sleep and increase restfulness. You can also increase your strength, flexibility, and endurance, which may help during childbirth. Finally, prenatal yoga is a way that we can help decrease lower back pain, nausea, and headaches. Although not dangerous, let's review a few safety guidelines to help make prenatal yoga a safe and enjoyable experience for you. Number 1, make sure you set realistic goals. Do not overdo it. Pregnancy is not the time to push yourself beyond your limits. Be very mindful of staying hydrated and avoid overheating. Have some water nearby if you're practicing prenatal yoga, and definitely avoid hot yoga as this can be too dehydrating. Avoid lying directly on your belly or on your back. This is most important once you are in your 3rd trimester, but is a good practice earlier in pregnancy as well. During pregnancy, there's a hormone called relaxin, which increases. This causes your joints to be a lot looser than they are when you're not pregnant. I recommend sinking into positions slowly and carefully to avoid overstretching. Finally, listen to your body. If you feel that there's a pose that's too uncomfortable or too much for you, feel free to avoid those poses. Also, let your body tell you when you have reached your limits so that you can safely stop. We're going to first review a few of the easy and safe poses for prenatal yoga, and then we'll have a chance to practice them together at the end. The first one is hip circles. When doing hip circles, you begin on all fours, making sure that your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are back behind your hips. You then start gently circling the entire body around clockwise and then counterclockwise. There's no right or wrong way to do this, and the most important thing is that you find a motion that feels good. Next is child's pose. When doing child's pose, you spread your knees out as wide as your mat. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can safely use a towel or a folded up blanket. Reach all the way forward and let your belly rest between your thighs. Rest your forehead or chin on the floor, and then take several rounds of deep breaths. Next is cat and cow. To start, get yourself into a hands and knees position. Keep your hands shoulder width apart and your knees directly below your hips. Take a very deep breath out and bring your abdomen in, arching your spine and bringing your head and pelvis down like a cat. Then inhale deeply while curving your lower back and bringing your head up, tilting your pelvis up like a cow. These are the last couple poses. Waterfall pose is a pose when you lay on your back and have your legs up against a wall. It can be a little more comfortable if you put a pillow underneath your hips. This pose helps release tension in the lower back and can be really helpful if you've been struggling with back pain. Down dog is another safe and healthy position to try. It helps increase blood flow to your brain, which can help you feel more awake and less stressed, while also stretching your hamstrings and your calf muscles. We're going to try a few poses together. I invite everyone to come to the floor, either on their yoga mat, towel, or blanket, to do these poses together. If you feel more comfortable to not do these poses, simply sit cross-legged, close your eyes, and work on breath work. Come to a comfortable cross-legged seat on your mat, a towel, or the floor. Take a second to find a position and posture that feels comfortable. Close your eyes and take several deep rounds of breath. As you are taking these deep breaths, allow yourself to feel proud that you have come to the mat today and you are taking a few moments just for you. Take this time and this breath as an escape from everything else. As thoughts enter your mind, acknowledge them and then let them go. Continue deep breaths in and out and let everything else go, aside from the feeling of breath entering and filling your lungs, feeding your baby, and then the breath slowly coming out, with each exhale letting all your stress and worries go. When you're ready, roll over your legs into a hands and knees or tabletop position. If you have had carpal tunnel or wrist pain with this pregnancy, place your hands in fists rather than palms flat on the mat. When you're ready, start to gently circle your hips around in a clockwise motion as if you're drawing a circle with your tailbone. Find a motion and speed that feels good. There is no right or wrong. And as you gently circle, let each breath in bring oxygen and empowerment to your muscles, and each breath out allow you to relax and find more comfort in the movement. At your own pace, gradually slow your movements and then switch directions and circle the hips counterclockwise. Continue to take deep, slow breaths, with each exhale letting more stress go. Allow your hips to find even more lightness and movement, letting yourself release any tension or tightness that you might feel in your pelvis and low back. Return to tabletop or hands and knees. Next, inhale deeply to cow pose. Push your belly toward the floor and raise your head and tailbone up toward the sky. Now exhale, cat. Relax your head down and arch your back up to the sky like an angry cat. Try to feel a deep stretch and release in your lower back. Inhale again to cow pose. Let gravity pull your belly and baby toward the mat. Push your tailbone high and look up. Exhale back to cat. Pull your belly into your spine, arch your back high, and look down. Continue at your own pace. With each inhale, settle into cow pose, letting your belly go low with head and tailbone high, and with each exhale, arch your back high into cat pose. Keep going for a couple more rounds of breath. Return the spine to neutral. Plant your palms firmly on the mat and curl your toes under your feet. Take a deep breath in and raise your hips and buttocks to the sky, downward facing dog. Exhale, let your head and chest hang deeply toward the mat. Feel a stretch in your hamstrings and calves. Inhale, push your tailbone higher, lift into the pose, push away from the mat with your hands. Exhale, let your heels relax to the mat. Feel a deep stretch. Continue in this pose for a few more rounds of breath. Let your head feel heavy as the blood rushes downward to your face. Allow yourself to feel energized and alive. When you're ready, lower your knees to the mat, spread your legs wide, and allow your arms to stretch out while your hips relax backward into child's pose. Find a position that feels comfortable. If baby does not allow room to relax all the way back, you can use pillows or rolled up blankets to elevate your head. Feel a deep stretch and release in your inner thighs and pelvis. With each breath in, let your air roll from your lungs all the way to your tailbone. And with each breath out, sink deeper and allow slightly more stretch. If you would like to keep going, you can continue alternating between downward dog and child's pose. Otherwise, when you feel ready, lift your body up and return to a comfortable cross-legged seat. We hope this introduction to prenatal yoga has helped release some stress and tension. If you enjoyed this practice, we welcome you to continue this at home. There are many free YouTube videos available with prenatal-specific yoga. There are also paid classes in person, as well as apps for your phone. Continue moving your body and working on breath work. Thank you again for sharing your practice with us today. We welcome any questions.